All right, so today we're diving into a topic that's pretty weighty, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
We're going to be talking about prescription pills,
Okay.
but we're going to be looking at it through a pretty unique lens, I think. We're going to be looking at it through a rap song by Steven Molanders.
Interesting.
Not your typical source material for a deep dive like this, right?
Yeah, it's not the first thing that comes to mind when you think about, like, dissecting prescription medications and the impact they have, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and I think what's so fascinating about using art as a lens to look at these complex issues, like you
Hmm.
said, is that it allows us to really tap into the emotions,
The raw.
the rawness. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not just a dry research paper.
Exactly.
It's lived experience poured into music. So just to kind of set the stage for everybody, this song tells two intertwined stories.
Okay.
One is about a young woman who is battling some serious life challenges, and the other is about the rapper's own mother and her struggles with addiction and how that ultimately ended.
And I'm guessing the lyrics are uh, pretty powerful given the topic.
Oh, yeah, they don't hold back at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they paint this incredibly vivid picture of despair and desperation
Hmm.
and how addiction can just trap people in this vicious cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's this one line, and I'm going to try to do it justice, where he raps.
Okay.
She looks in the mirror. She's losing her faith. Sees the bodily reason she takes all the little pills, her pain escapes.
Wow.
Like, man.
That's heavy. It really is.
It's like, it gives you that glimpse into the mind of someone who is struggling.
Yeah,
Right?
totally. And there's another line, and this one just like hit me so hard. Holding his hand while holding his gun, cocked and loaded, Russian roulette life, enchanted, repeated, she slips, increasing the odds every bit as she sips, praying to God one day that she quits.
Whoa.
I mean, talk about a powerful image.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need like a whole essay to understand what that's trying to convey, right?
Right, exactly. And I think what's so striking is, he's presenting pills as both a way out of pain.
But also the source of new pain.
It's this like double-edged sword in a way.
Exactly, this tragic irony, like you said.
Seeking relief, but then becoming so dependent on the very thing that's supposed to be helping you.
And I think it really makes you think about how limited medication can be sometimes when it comes to truly addressing complex emotional needs.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me, I don't know if you've ever heard this analogy before, but it's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
It might stop the bleeding temporarily, but it doesn't actually address the underlying issue.
Doesn't get to the root of it.
Exactly. And this connects to this huge issue that we've been grappling with for a while now, right? The opioid crisis.
Right, yeah, and I think we can't talk about prescription pills without acknowledging the opioid crisis, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, the overprescription of painkillers, the way pharmaceutical companies have downplayed the risks of addiction,
Yeah.
it's had these ripple effects on individuals, families, entire communities.
It's a multifaceted issue for sure. And there's another layer to this song that I think is really interesting, and it's how Molanders also touches on the doctor's role in all of this.
Okay.
There's this part where he talks about feeling, I don't know, completely drained, like he's lost that spark in his life, and it leads him to getting a prescription.
So it's like raising that question of, are we too quick to medicate? And of course, there are situations where medication is absolutely life-saving.
Of course.
But it makes you think about the limitations of relying solely on pills to address emotional suffering, right?
Right. I mean, are we missing something crucial by not exploring, like, alternative approaches?
Like therapy or mindfulness or even lifestyle changes,
Yeah, I mean, it's like expecting a single tool to fix every problem.
Right.
Sometimes you need a whole toolbox.
Exactly.
And I guess I'm curious, thinking about your own experiences, what really resonated with you in these lyrics?
That's a good question. I think for me, it was just the way it highlighted the importance of what we call holistic well-being, where you're not just looking at symptoms, you're thinking about therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness practices, things like that.
It's about addressing the whole person, not just the symptom.
Exactly.
Right. And that makes so much sense because there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Absolutely.
And it kind of makes me wonder if this song was the only information you had about prescription medication.
Okay.
What impression would you walk away with?
That's a really interesting thought experiment. I think I would walk away with, a sense of caution and a realization that there's a lot more to the story than just taking a pill to make the pain go away.
Right, exactly. It's not that simple. It's much more complex.
Yeah, and it's like this happens all the time, right? We get our information from all sorts of places, and it makes you think about how media, even music, can shape our understanding of these big issues.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect note to end on. This has been, I think, a really heavy but important deep dive. And I hope it's given everyone out there some food for thought.
Some things to ponder, for sure.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.